Yo! Video games.
Oh shit, chat. Oh shit, this is the weird Sega Ages remaster of Panzer Dragoon that was only released in Japan. I don't even know if I ever had a chance to play this because I didn't have ESB before. Fuck. Hold on a second. Hopefully it works. Slowest fade out in human history.
There was a lot of backstory to Panzer Dragoon 1.
Yeah, it's got kind of a very interesting world to it.
Like I said, it's Star Fox, but a billion times more interesting. That's how I describe Panzer Dragoon.
Shogun Sheeps, thank you. Yes, we know about the PS5 essentially emulating every fucking PlayStation game ever. Like, it sounds amazing. And there was a thing that a lot of analysts were saying, don't get rid of your discs. They were saying, don't get rid of your PlayStation games. Because of reasons. Okay, I don't need to watch this cutscene. I want to play the damn game. Yeah, I know, the Xbox version is in Orta. I'm curious if the Xbox version in Orta is based on the PC version or this.
I heard it was, I think Digital Foundry said it was PC.
Wait for it. God damn, the music in this game. Okay. Sega Saturn mode, arrange mode.
Best fucking music.
PlayStation 5 having, like, eternal backwards compatibility would be pretty incredible. Yeah, hit up eBay for a shit ton of PS2. The giant lot, 1,000 PS2 games, and you're gonna get 800 versions of NHL 2002. Yep. It is definitely looking different. It is definitely looking different. Ooh. You have first-person mode? It's definitely running at the same frame rate as the Saturn did. Holy shit, dude. 20 something? I got bar mode. Look like it.
You know, there's a game I want to play, but I don't think you guys might not have it.
I could get it now, because I got that thing working.
I was thinking Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo 3?
Yeah.
A-Spec? It would be 3.
3 and 4 on PS2.
I wouldn't mind seeing what Gran Turismo looks like on a PS2. Is everybody playing Dark Cloud on PS2?
Ooh, God, Dark Cloud 2.
I know that game because the main character's name is Max.
Yeah, I like Dark Cloud 2. That game was good.
Dark Cloud 2 is
Dark
very
Cloud
charming.
2 is amazing. It's awesome. You combine Sims, you combine a bit of a dungeon crawler.
It's a kitchen sink kind of game.
It is, yeah, definitely, for sure. My only thing is Dark Cloud 2, the dungeons were very
long
and...
I remember getting bored when I got to the sewer.
They're really boring because they're
boring.
They're
Just-
generated.
Yeah, they're generated. Yeah.
Damn.
They're not like a Zelda dungeon.
Yeah,
it's just literally go through
engaging dungeons.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like a slog.
Yeah, you just get through.
It's like Diablo in that sense, where it generates the rooms randomly.
Even though Diablo has like a map.
I remember like the first big dungeon of the game was like this sewer, and I lost interest, dude. I never fired it up again.
No, but the thing is, it was like that for me, but for me wanting to keep going and make the town and bring it back kept me going. But the dungeons were very, very basic.
Damn, camera work.
But I was like, oh my god, I have to find all the pieces of the city and make the city cool and put it together. Like Dark Cloud 1 was great, but it suffered the same thing. They didn't innovate the dungeons. If they would have had like some Zelda type dungeons,
This fucking music.
it would have been a masterpiece.
This fucking music.
It's still a fucking great game.
You know what's crazy, Chad? Panzer Dragoon 2 is an infinitely better game in like every single way. Performance, graphics on Saturn, it just looked so much better.
I don't think anything though. There's this first track though. Like I don't think anything beats.
It's got some kind of interesting shit.
Like it's still like I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's the first level. But
This game is very fucking hard too, and this has like a classic difficulty spike where if you put it on easy, you get to go to like mission 5, but the game stops.
Yeah, it actually says
It's like, hey, you put it on easy. Congratulations. Now put it on a normal difficulty, you fucking hag, and you can play the rest of the game. You horrible slob. Music. music transitions because you're always running at the same speed, technically.
Yeah.
So you can get like these cool musical moments that actually complement like the environment. You see a little bit of this in the remake trailer.
Yep.
Cocos, thank you.
I really hope they're able to do a Saga remake though.
I hope they do well enough. I mean,
Yeah, you gotta buy this shit when it comes out on the Switch.
oh my god. God, the game running at 20 FPS is like one of the biggest chores.
We did Black already, which is arguably one of the best looking
They
games.
lost
And
source code of Saga. They've lost source code of every fucking video game. Like, everything before PS3 era.
All the Panzer Dragoon games have to be reverse engineered.
They had it on GameTap. You used to have it on there. Like, and ROMs exist. Like, it doesn't mean shit when they're like, oh, they lost the source code. Guess what? Every fucking remastered game you've ever played has not had source code.
I think the original Kingdom Hearts didn't have source code either. I think they had it for Kingdom Hearts 2. But something about like when they had to remake those like 1080p Kingdom Hearts versions or whatever, they didn't have source code for.
You know what? Not Gran Turismo, I have my game. Twisted Metal Black.
Yeah,
Twisted
I run it on
Metal.
Minothin. Yeah.
Twisted Metal Black. Everybody's like always whenever we do PlayStation, old school PlayStation days, everyone wants Twisted Metal.
That's a good call. I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, we could probably say there's a very very famous Capcom series that
There's a very famous Capcom series that we know. We have friends that made it, that made the ports, and I'm not gonna say what game it is because this is now ancient history. This is shit from like 8 years ago, right?
yeah.
There's a Capcom game that got remastered, and when the devs that were making it were like, all right, so what do we use to get started? And they were sent in the mail a used copy of the game from GameStop.
Yep. 'Cause guess what?
And
There was no.
There was no source code. There was nothing. So they had to reverse engineer the whole fucking game from the very start. And guess what? The port, I can't say what it is because we're going to wait a few years for that to happen. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Port's actually
turned out fine.
pretty fucking good. So it was a lot of work. It's a lot of fucking work, man.
Darksiders 1 has a reference to this game. Fucking where?
Darksiders?
I know there's like a level where you literally fly a thing through a cave.
Want to try it? Yeah, and because the reason we know that's true is because the person that was like one of the people working on the job was the guy that had to like find out from Japan, like, so where
Like,
is
hey,
this game?
Put in the request for the source, and they're like, what source code? Like, oh, that's just
so
long gone.
what he was the one that had to go to the GameStop, buy a copy of the game, and then send him one. It's like, fuck, dude, that's rough, man. Dude, it's not that weird to think about. Like, it kind of boggles your mind that most of the companies that kept their source code was pretty much Nintendo. Nintendo was one of the only ones that kept all their original stuff like it was art, you know?
Yeah.
Every other video game developer trashed that shit. They needed the space. They needed the space to make more shit. Hard drive space was rare, limited, and expensive. So when you think about it in retrospect, it's like, fuck, that's really rough, but it's actually not that crazy.
Ah, it's inverse.
I know. Flight game.
It's fine when I'm facing forward.
This game does look great. I have to like fire up. Actually, you know what we should do before we cut off of this? We should fire up the Saturn version and see what that looks like.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, there's actually a mode for Saturn version.
Oh yeah, the Sega Saturn mode.
I hope that's a wall and not. Okay. When the Final Fantasy VIII's code, I'd imagine it was
Long gone.
long gone, dude.
So,
If I'm popping around
me
here.
and Steve, I mean, Steve's not here, but we are not.
Twist Metal Black. Hold on.
No, yeah. We are not Panzer Dragoon guy. As soon as I said it's a much better,
Star Fox.
Star Fox.
A billion times more
but
interesting.
sell me why this game is so good.
You like rail shooters?
It can be fun.
It's a 3D version of a shmup, basically.
Yeah.
So this predates Star Fox by a lot, right?
Well, 64.
Star
not-
Fox predates Star Fox 64 by a lot. Star Fox SNES was sort of like the beginning of this.
Yes.
But you know what Star Fox SNES looks like, right? This, in comparison to that, is like way beyond. Like,
No.
way beyond. And its predecessor, the Panzer Dragoon II, if I were to show you that, you'd immediately see why it's appealing. This game is a little rough around the edge.
But
right?
when it came out in like Japan, late '94, early '95, one or the other, I think it was early '95 in Japan. It looked fucking incredible.
Rebus, thank you.
Like, I see where you're coming from, Kenny, because when this game came out, I didn't like it very much. I was like, okay, whatever. But when the second game came out, it's immediately... I could show you that game, and I'm like, you'd be like, oh, this is way better than Star Fox. This is way fucking better than Star Fox. Because there's so many crazy, great, and interesting things happening throughout that entire game. Are they super long? They're not. They're like 40 minutes, but Star Fox is also like 40 minutes.
As long as you don't die.
True.
You probably fucking will in these games.
There's a reason they're being remastered, you know? Because I feel like these games could use a remaster. They have interesting settings, interesting characters, interesting worlds. Very classic gameplay. This will be fucking cool. The new one. Is the series a better arcade experience than Star Fox 64? Yeah, I would argue so. You know why? Because Star Fox is just... Not a lot of new shit gets introduced. This game is lacking something that the Panzer Dragoon II is really cool. Depending on how good you do, your dragon evolves, and it gets like different looking and different weapons and modifications, and like you don't directly control that shit. It just sort of gets handed to you. But by the end of the journey in Panzer Dragoon, your dragon's gone from this like no shit fledgling hatchling thing that you're just riding the back of, that you're just trying to get the fuck away, to the end of being this god demon dragon. That is like the actual weapon to destroy the planet type shit that you're riding. So it's got this interesting take on it depending on how good you do per level. Yeah, you get the Drakengard by the end and shit. And Star Fox does have pathways, but so does Panzer Dragoon II. In each level in Panzer Dragoon, you can take different paths that do different things. Like the first or second level in the game, you can either fight, you can go through on foot or you can go through on air, and it's actually different. And I think they took that from Star Fox, to be honest. I think they took that from Star Fox 64.
Well, I can't remember if it's been too long.
If Spy came out before.
Well, the SNES,
The
Star
team
Fox
make
had
Panzer
multiple
Dragoon make that one shooter from the arcade, an old Sega shooter.
Space Harrier?
Space Harrier?
I don't think so. They're very inspired by it.
I guarantee some people on the team were the same people.
The Space Harrier is AM2.
Yeah, Orta, you have different routes. Yeah.
It was definitely like, the idea was definitely like taken from, hey, we want to make like a new Space Harrier style game. I read about this at one point, but yeah, like, because this was actually a bunch of newer people, younger people. The Space Harrier came out in like 85.
Which is why it's heavily inspired by like Mobius, the artist and shit. Oh, shoot those motherfuckers. Oh, god.
Man. Yeah.
Shoot those guys. It's hard. It's not easy with the frame rate. Yeah, Sin and Punishment was another big like inspiration. That game is very identical, very similar.
At the end of the N64's life.
Oh, if you just keep shooting, you might win. He's in a shitty phase right now.
You know, I used to be a Nintendo fanboy during the Nintendo 64 days, but
I was a Nintendo fanboy before the N64.
Oh yeah,
guess
me too.
what?
I was all that, and then Nintendo 64, and like, you know, I had the 64. My buddy had the PlayStation.
The GameCube is where it dropped off for you, right?
Yeah, it dropped off. But I remember once I started playing PlayStation, I'm like, God, you know what? PlayStation is a better system.
I waited for the N64 like religiously, right? I loved it. It looked incredible. Killer Instinct, like all that shit. Mm-hmm. And I just was sick of waiting. And then the commercials were really convincing for the Sega Saturn, and they had the arcade games that I loved. So I ended up getting a Sega Saturn, and I loved it, man. It had everything I wanted.
For me, I got the N64 first, and then like, I was like, oh man, PlayStation loads, PlayStation does all this, but then I just like, God damn, these games are cool.
Yeah, PlayStation 1 ended up having a very cool library.
Then I just ended up buying a PlayStation. I think the very first, your first system you ever bought was a Saturn.
Saturn, yeah.
The first one I ever bought was a PlayStation, and I bought it at Costco.
Yeah.
Or Price Club.
I ended up buying it off a friend because I lived in a very small community and we would like trade systems and shit like that. I traded my Saturn for a PlayStation because Saturn was just like done by the time. But no one had played Saturn games and they were all really interesting to a lot of people because Saturn had a shit ton of RPGs, dude. Before the PlayStation ended up having a lot of RPGs, Saturn had a shit ton. And in the community I grew up with, we didn't have a lot of shit to do, so RPGs like reigned king.
Oh yeah,
they're long. They take several like weeks to days to beat.
And you know, it's so much when you were younger, that was great.
That was great.
Now when you're older, you're like, fuck, dude. You can't play these fucking 80-hour games.
And even I started feeling that with like, there's a game called Tales of Destiny, the first Tales of game, right?
Yeah.
The whole game, like you beat it. And then halfway through the game, you beat the last boss, and then the last boss comes back, and you have to go back to the world and collect everyone to do it again. I'm like, fuck this!
Apparently that's like a thing in every fucking Tales.
Is that a Tales thing? I was like, fuck this! I returned the game.
I think it's in every Tales game I've played, and people are like, yeah, like it's like that's like the Tales path is like, you know, you do a thing.
It's like you end up killing like the weird god thing in the
like
Xeno
you do
games,
a thing,
right?
yeah. Well, yeah, Xeno has a lot of stuff that seems to always happen. But yeah, apparently it's like a Tales thing to always redo the
we have to do it again. Boss is back.
That kind of lost
June
me a
8-bit,
little bit.
thank you.
I love Symphonia, but like...
Yeah, Symphonia is, I think, what Looney considered to be like one of the better ones.
Yeah, Symphonia is good. And
Vesperia wasn't bad
Vesperia
either,
is like also the one. And I tried playing the new one that came out. It's still good, but it's also kind of like... We live in a post-Xenoblade, Nier, all kinds of other RPGs worlds that have action-y battle systems, and...
I think 6 and 7 sort of resonate kind of well. And I'm not a Final Fantasy expert by any means, but in Final Fantasy 6, something interesting happens. Spoilers, the bad guy wins. And at least the bad guy, and he changes the world. And that's actually really cool. And then the last guy you fight is essentially like still the same bad guy.
Yeah.
At least in FF7, you're given very early in the game who the bad guy is, like who you're fighting against and what your goal is. And throughout the whole game, that remains your goal until the very end of the game. In a lot of Final Fantasy games, what happens, like in FF8, Edea is the bad guy for the whole first disc, and then she's like not, and she's a good guy after that, or some shit. And then you end up fighting God or something, or like, what's his name? Cujo, I think is his name in FF9. He doesn't end up being the actual bad guy by the end, if I remember either.
It's Necron, just some statue.
And the same thing with FF10, it ends up being Sin instead of Seymour. It's like, you sort of lack this like focused sort of like, I just need like,
they carried
make
it
it
on
simpler. Like
they carried it on in a.
It keeps going, and then all of a sudden our motivations are changed. Yeah, right.
There's ways to
Ansem.
do it. I feel where like you
Ansem.
can have like a shifting of the villain kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if those games really did it super well.
I mean, I feel like it can be done well. It's just that in those games, the stories never really resonated with me because it always felt confusing as far as like where we're going and what we're doing.
Yeah, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Why are we doing this? I got Twisted Metal Black is a few minutes away.
It's like everybody, like whenever we do old school PlayStation days, they want to do Final Twisted Metal, but it just runs so bad.
Yeah.
And it's nostalgia goggles. Yeah, it just nostalgia goggles. And then Black actually started did it right. But for the time, for what we had, Twisted Metal is awesome. You know, even the old school ones, they were great, but they didn't age well. Certain PlayStation games age well. Tekken 3 on a PlayStation, mwah.
Damn, chat, I'm not gonna lie, one of the coolest fucking things is archive.org. I found the entire PS1 collection on archive.org the other day and I was like, oh wow. Oh wow.
But like the Twisted Metals didn't age well. Twisted Metal Black, pretty goddamn. Oh yeah, V8. But Vigilante 8 on a Dreamcast is probably.
I love V8.
It is V8 Second Offense or on the Dreamcast.
It was funny because it had like
best car
these Street
combat.
Fighter moves with the weapons.
Oh yeah,
you literally do like
Twisted
inputs
Metal
and
Black
shit.
though. They stole that from Twisted Metal Black
What?
or Twisted Metal. You would go like back, forward, down, and you do a freeze.
You press a button and like
Yeah.
the special thing would come out. Once I learned that, it's like it changed the whole name of the game.
Especially like virtual V8, they would have a thing and you could like turn your car into a Back to the Future 2 car.
What I kind of want to try if we get a chance is like SSX or something. Kenny, you want to try Twisted Metal, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if this works faster.
Yeah, and a V8 Vigilante 8. I think it was called Second Offense. It was fucking cool. You run over the thing and you'd get like hover version. Vigilante 8 is a better game, but Twisted Metal has like the better characters and kind of story.
Whoa, it just like straight booted like...
Wow, the actual Saturn startup screen. Holy shit.
Yeah, wait, what?
Wait, what?
Sega!
It's like an emulated version of it or some shit? Yeah, it is! Team Andromeda.
Hey, let's go.
What?
I was gonna do Gran Turismo to show off the full power of the PlayStation, but I wanna give Twisted Metal some love. Does Vigilante run well on a PS1? I don't remember. I remember mainly playing it on a Dreamcast.
They run about the same.
Yeah, and it just ran fantastically on a Dreamcast. Fantastic to my nostalgia god.
I think if you have an expansion pack, it'll run better.
On N64?
For both 1 and 2.
Oh my god, Twisted Metal Black Online.
Oh yeah, there was an online edition.
Jesus.
PlayStation did something where they released it, like if you bought a magazine or did something, they released it Twisted Metal Black Online.
This is just an emulation.
Oh yeah, that's the Saturn version I remember. But just very crispy.
Oh damn, yeah.
It's good looking.
Yeah. Great music.
Yeah, because the Saturn had CD quality sound, so this is the first time it's like, whoa, instead of boops and beeps.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic.
It almost feels like the controls better, right?
Maybe, yeah.
It's weird. It feels like the remake actually controls worse. Odd. Very odd. I almost like this better.
God damn.
Right?
This is fucking good ass music.
There's something about this version that it looks better. How weird. That's really fucking weird.
Like,
There's a PS2 version of Knights as well.
I know. I think that one's actually playable on the
Universal, like they have Nintendo Land, they should buy the rights and have a Sega Land like next door. And then have a Panzer Dragoon ride.
Right.
Wasn't Universal making a How to Train Your Dragon ride?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but in Orlando.
That'll be pretty similar to this, so all things considered.
Yeah, but you could imagine if they actually made a Panzer Dragoon ride where it also had like that Astro Blaster shit.
To be honest, Simmons, I have been on a Panzer Dragoon ride. You haven't.
No, I haven't. But do you have a gun?
No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't have a gun.
Chat knows.
What I'm saying is like you have that with the targeting reticule.
The thing is, that game. Well, maybe if they had a targeting reticle and
Fucker.
wow, already
Canceling this shit. If anyone's ever been to Pandora and Animal Kingdom,
you are not in Kansas.
You have been on a Panzer Dragoon ride.
Yeah.
You have been on it.
It's fucking amazing. It's so wild that a simulator is that good. That good.
It's kind of crazy how I just want to go back to Florida just to ride the fucking Avatar ride again. It's so...
That ride was legit when it was done.
Max, the Rise of the Resistance is the hardest shit ever. You gotta ride that.
Okay, Mr. Blanket.
You know what's funny? There was a ride that did Rise of the Resistance way before, and it was a Star Trek experience.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I went on it once when I was way younger.
You're not the first person to tell me that. Like, you're like, this is Star Trek experience.
Yeah, the Star Trek experience did the Rise of the Resistance way before.
Yeah, anyone that I've ever heard that talks about going on the Avatar ride at Disney World is like, oh, that ride's the shit. And
that ride, it's a simulator, but you legit feel like you're there. You legit feel sad that you are not a blue person.
No
in
shit.
Pandora.
It's the only. And they did it. Like, I got off the ride and I was like, fuck, I want to live there.
Yeah.
I want to, Jesus. And we wanted to get back on the ride immediately again.
Oh yeah.
Okay, have you seen the artwork James Cameron released?
No, I'm keeping away from spoilers.
It doesn't really spoil. It's just landscapes.
Yeah. And
That's
underwater shit, right?
Oh, fuck. It's not even underwater. It's just, hey, here's a bunch of fucking tropical coastlines in Africa. I'm like, God damn it! It looks.
You got me.
God,
You got me.
got
you
me.
fucking Avatar.
It's like, oh, I'm not gonna be. Nothing's gonna fucking impress me about Avatar. It's been too. Oh,
Oh, God.
God damn it.
fuck! It looks. You know what it looks like? It looks exactly like PSO2, but like really high quality, like that exact beach and everything.
Yeah, the gibbons and all the monkeys.
Yeah,
and
like
everything.
that beach with those arches and shit. I'm like, God damn it!
You do get some coastlines in the ride.
Yeah.
Avatar's not getting a sequel. It's getting many sequels.
4 sequels.
It's getting a lot. It's a little too late, but
Yeah.
like a few years back, I had not seen Avatar since like 2010, right? And I watched it again on the plane, and my sister watched it at the same time, and we had like the same experience. We had not seen that shit in forever. Made 3 hours fly by like that.
Damn.
It was actually super entertaining still. It was like,
Wow.
huh, I was
pretty
not
cool.
ready. I was not ready for this movie to like, oh, this movie's
Right?
probably like memey and weird.
Yeah.
And it was actually still really like made time fly by on that plane super fast. I was
Damn.
like, I was not expecting that.
That's cool.
It felt like it was like an hour and 45 minutes. That's a 3-hour fucking movie.
Right? Because that's kind of like, yeah. Because there's been some movies I start watching and I'm like, oh, can't do it. I'm on a fucking plane where I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm watching a movie and I'm like, I can't finish this movie.
That happened with me in the Aladdin remake.
What were the characters'
So
names?
bad.
Jake Sully
Big Sully.
and Neytiri. I remember that.
Miles Quaritch is the name
Miles
of the bad guy.
is the bad guy. I can't remember the nerdy skinny guy who has another avatar.
They're called the Navi.
Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Sigourney Weaver.
It's Sigourney Weaver. Furious Max, thank
It's
you.
like Dr. Gale or something like that. I think it's Gale.
Oh, shit. Still alive.
Oh yeah, you know what's funny? I did see that the other day. I randomly watched Aladdin, the new one with JJ.
I couldn't make it through. I was on a fucking 11-hour flight to Tokyo. And
I didn't like
dude,
despise it.
Yeah.
I didn't completely
I'd rather
despise
be
it, but
watching
it's like
anything else.
it's once again a.
Why?
To me, it's a bit different. Yeah, it's a big like why, right? It didn't seem bad. I didn't think Will Smith did a bad job. I actually liked Jasmine and Aladdin. I think
Really?
I thought they did okay jobs.
Oh, I thought Aladdin was fuck awful.
I don't know. I thought
I
it
was like,
fine.
every fucking line he had was like, that was the best take you got.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean,
Jams.
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 I didn't hate it. It was just on TV and JJ. It was on Disney Plus and JJ fired it up. I want to hang out with my wife, so I was like, okay, I'll watch it with you.
I heard the like literally the best part was Will Smith.
Oh my.
Yeah, he's actually
He is.
the genie's obviously the best part of the movie.
Jafar is fuck awful. There
I
is
heard he's like,
there is no defending Jafar in that movie. I can make you rich beyond your wildest dreams, Aladdin. You come with me to this cave of wonders. Okay.
so here we are again.
But it definitely felt very like the original movie is already really good and interesting and has great characters.
Dude.
I noticed like weird things like Genie never calls Aladdin Al ever. Like he never has like a short name for him.
Yeah.
It's like weird. And I'm like, you never called him Al.
I think 'cause
which I
they-
remember a lot
yeah.
in the old movie.
And I think they try to make it less personal. It's like when you talk about Al, it's already talking like a friend.
Yeah.
So like the director's probably, I want to make it more of a master relationship.
Yeah.
We say Al, and it's kind of more like, like your buddies, as
Yeah.
opposed to like a servant or something. So I guarantee you that's where that came from.
Let's put in Twisted Dicks
Yeah.
Black.
You know what? But movie I recently kind of saw again. I don't know why I started watching it, but it was fucking Solo. And Solo is the darkest.
I told you, it's hard to see
muddiest-
anything in that movie.
It's hard to fucking see.
Yeah, it's like there's haze in the whole film.
There's a PlayStation 2 film in the entire fucking film.
Sorry.
There's a scene where he's in this mob boss's fucking room, and he's got all this cool shit. He's got like Mandalorian armor and trinkets and all these cool things. I can't see what the fuck is there. I'm like, what does that armor look like?
You're not wrong.
Is it Boba Fett's
Yeah,
armor?
it's like the movie might as well be in like
I can't fucking
the
tell.
movie might as well be in like 480p.
Yeah, it is.
And you wouldn't even be able even at 4K it's like
Yeah.
You're sitting there just like, what the fuck? I can't
4K.
see
I was
dick.
watching at 4K and I couldn't even. It felt like it was all blurry. They fucking the first the movie is a fun movie, but it is so fucking like you can't see shit. The reveal of the Millennium Falcon is in Fogland.
Yeah.
Fogland.
It's like it looks like it's Silent Hill.
It's in Silent Hill.
It's like, and here's my ship, the Millennium Falcon, and it's fucking
And here's a.
engulfed in fog. So
You can see a
barely
chunk
see the
of it,
ship.
and it's all blacked out and foggy. So you really are just looking at like a black square, and you're like, I guess that's the Falcon.
Yeah.